Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Peace. It's Coach Nazir.
And I'm his wife, Coach Fatimah.
We are two of the three founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as the authors of this book, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. All right, so here's the deal. As we get started with today's live cast, what we're going to do is really jump into a number of different myths and different topics. But before we do that, we're going to ask you to share, because sharing is
Sharing.
especially when we talk about polygyny, right? All right, so we're gonna again talk about a number of different topics. We're gonna open up the floor for questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, and ideas, and we also encourage you to participate. So feel free to share. I'm gonna do that right now on my mobile. In the meantime, IG needs to.
Okay, IG. We want to just pop in here really quickly. We need you to head on over to Facebook or YouTube at Outstanding Personal Relationships. We are going to be taking some questions, so you're going to want to stay until the end. Make sure you share the information on your platforms as well, but get on over there right now. I'm going to close off IG, okay? See you guys on Facebook and YouTube. Sound like peace.
Girl, what's wrong with you?
Girl, polygamy. I'm hearing it everywhere. Polygamy this, polygamy that. Men want to be married to more than one wife. I'm sick of hearing it. Who want to be dealing with something like that anyway?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
What?
Well, I mean, if it's done right.
Who's doing polygamy right? Where can you even find how to do polygamy right anyway? What was that?
I heard that too.
What is this?
Wait a minute.
Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored?
The practical no-nonsense guide to practicing polygamy right?
You heard that right. And if you want to get your copy shipped to your door, make sure you go to letstalkpolygamy.com so you can learn how to practice polygyny properly.
Where y'all chiming in from?
Okay, guys, let us know where you're chiming in from. How's your day going? Put it in the comments so that we can see it. And as we approach the end of our live, we're going to take some Q&A. So put question marks in front of the questions so we can easily identify them. We're going to be busting some myths today and talking about some different misconceptions in polygyny, which is the practice of having more than one wife for the man, for the husband. So stay tuned.
When we start there, the definition. We talk about the word polygyny, and people are hearing it correctly, even though some people say, you know what, can't be hearing this right. Y'all don't know how to pronounce the words. Polygamy. Well, thank you for that, but here's a little bit of education since we're educators. Polygamy means a spouse who's married to multiple spouses. Clearly, spouse does not have a specific gender or sex attached to it. Therefore, polygamy is the big umbrella term, because under that, there is the word polygyny, like gyny, G-Y-N-Y, meaning multiple, polygyny, if you will, polygyny is how it's pronounced. That means a husband was married to multiple wives. So, for example, I'm married to Coach Fatimah and Coach Nyla. I practice polygyny. They don't. Then there's polyandry, a wife or a woman who is married to multiple husbands. We don't do that around these parts, so that's not it. It is polyamorous. Many people are familiar with that, or kind of familiar with that. It's kind of what goes on, generally speaking, when people have multiple lovers, boyfriends, girlfriends, jump downs, whatever. Is however they see fit to do it. But that's not necessarily a form of marriage and doesn't fall under the polygamy aspect per se. So yeah, we want to start there. Polygamy, multiple spouses. Why we use the word polygamy? It's more well known, and most people, when they think of polygamy, think of polygyny. They just don't know necessarily of the term. So, with that being said, we recognize you in the house, Poly Life, Nia, representing Indiana. Good stuff. Definitely put a question in front of it. Domain Mark says he has 10 wives and lives in Camden, New Jersey. Very interesting. We are limited as Muslims to 4 simultaneously. Nevertheless, one of the things that's very important is understanding where you actually stand when it comes to polygyny. Now, personally, I encourage every man to strive to practice polygyny. Now, it might be shocking or why or all that kind of stuff. Even if a person does not intend to practice polygyny, the act of becoming the person that you need to be in order to practice it, should that be some future decision of yours, will require more of you than the average man. So then that begs the question, would it be better to just have a bunch of men who are striving to be better, strive toward excellence, to be better men who are qualified, more attractive, and separate themselves from the mediocre masses? Or just be average and be okay? I say the former over the latter, even though people get all upset, women get all, emotionally wound up when that's said. And there's like looking at her man who's an average man at best. It's like, why is he even thinking about polygyny? Well, he's thinking about it because it's already in him. All right. If you want to know why men choose to practice polygyny, that's going to be a very hard thing for you to understand or even digest anyway, because it's the way it is. Now, you might be like, not all men. First of all, please don't bring any foolish talk like that here, because it's not all men, all women, anything to support your argument. If you have to go and say all the people don't do, listen, all men don't even like women. To me, that's foolish, but it is what it is. All women don't like men. All that anything has to do is breathe, eat, live, and die. That's the thing we are all going to do for whatever amount of time that's already been determined. Okay, so just gonna let you know that, but not everybody, not all. That type of thinking is so elementary. We don't want to go there. We want to make sure we're using intelligent arguments. Nevertheless, what we do want to do, we are going to address some questions and just talk about a number of different things. But I'm not going to get cotton mouth while talking. So, Coach Fatimah.
Okay, you said something when Coach Nazir we were coming to terms of terminology. It's like to be very specific about what we practice as practicing Muslims. So Coach Nyla mentioned that the men practice polygyny and the women don't. We don't, because we're not interested, and as practicing Muslim women, it's not allowed. So when people say, well, don't you want two husbands, Coach Fatimah? Coach, do. And we're not interested in doing it specifically because it's not of our nature, number one. And number one is that it's not allowed in Islam, and we don't want to do that. That's not something that's inside of us. Now, many go, well, how come he can do it? You should be able to do it. And it's this tit for tat thing that we are not even interested in. So many people are putting that on Muslim women specifically, or women that are completely not interested in it because they're trying to keep score. And if you can do it, I can do it. If the husband can do it, you should be able to do it. And protest and campaign against the fact that we don't want to do that, and it's not of us to do.
Well, you ain't designed to do that. Let's get to that point.
Yeah.
There's a few things that we really have to understand and come to terms with. And this goes into the why part, men and women. Since men and women are different, we're the same species. We absolutely complement and need each other. But if we take out morals and we just take out and look at our basic species and how we're designed biologically speaking, we need to talk about that, really get an understanding of that. Because having the argument that we don't want to, or this and that, that's actually irrelevant. You're not designed not only not to want to do it, it's so disadvantageous and disruptive that you'll be done. Hence, we have this term, what as old folks were saying, what do the young people, you know how the young ones say, is she for the streets? Compliment never will be a compliment. No matter how you try to dress it up, no matter how you try to, don't shame it like slut shaming movement and whatever else, it is going to be. So let's look at it just from a species perspective. A man produces billions of sperm cells a day. Billions per day. So let's talk about the facts with that. How many women can a man impregnate throughout the year to carry on his seed, to carry on his progeny, which we have to do as a species anyway, right? So how many? Hundreds? I mean, if just once a day, that's 365 women, which twice is over 700. It could be over 1,000, depending on what the man has going on, what the drive is, right? So literally hundreds of children a year can be conceived by one man. So think about that design, first of all. And if for some reason he continues to produce and produce and produce and is not released, then there's something called wet dreams, if you will. I had learned this stuff when I was a teenager, doing these puberty stuff. But now let's talk about women. How many eggs does she release that are available to be fertilized every month? I'm not a woman, so how many? One?
One egg.
Oh, one. Wow, wow. Okay, so how many people can impregnate that one egg? One.
Let's get that math.
So for the majority of the year, so about 40 weeks, our full-time pregnancy, out of 52 in the entire year, she's tied up with that one man's egg. And of course, he wants to protect his progeny and whatever comes from that with his name, his blood, and his DNA. So, okay, so one woman is tied up for the majority of the year with one person's egg, with one man's egg, and is very vulnerable. I mean, Coach Fatimah has had 7 of my children. And when she gets to wobbling and get big and all that kind of, it's problematic. It's a challenge. Like, I cannot imagine it. I can imagine how a woman who have one child wants to have another after experiencing them all up in the ribs and pushing on all kind of bite. That's amazing. Just a whole nother level. All right. Thankfully, they forget all of that in order to want and desire one child. That's serious business. But with that being said, look at that makeup. So one, biological. No, it doesn't. So let's stop with that. You can do it. I can do it. You did it. Come on, let's really get off of that. I mean, feminazis have really come out here and pushing stuff on the modern women when now they lonely and coming up with all kinds of stuff and really ending up with weak arguments. We're gonna go over some of those actually today. We get some really interesting conversation going on our YouTube channel. I'm gonna dig into some comments.
Get it.
Yeah, with that. So, what say you? Matter of fact, let's see who else is in the house. Anyone in South Africa? I don't know. Anybody in South Africa watching? We got some people in South Africa definitely representing. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everybody from now on that comes even if they late. Mansa Musa, you in the house? I see you. We see you. So, what myths do you have that are still kind of perpetuated in your community when it comes to polygyny? I'll let you know just a few of mine. I have uncles and great uncles that I when I was younger, I would look up to. Of course, they're older and kind of see what their lifestyle is looking like. They always had multiple women. Father, all of them. They had multiple women. Now, they didn't openly have multiple women. They didn't do that. They had one official woman, which was usually their wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Their main girl. And everybody else was just everybody else, not official. Now, many of them knew of each other and either was silent or argued about it or whatever it is. But there was absolutely no talk ever of marrying multiple women, taking care of them and stuff like that. There were certain levels of taking care of, but not taking care of as in taking care of a family like you're supposed to do when you are married and when that commitment is there. What say you? How does that manifest? What myths do you have going on or have you heard when it comes to polygyny in particular? Yes, just participation. So if you haven't already liked and subscribed on YouTube or liked the video, if you like it, if you hating it, dislike it, whatever. The algorithm rewards us the same. Nevertheless.
I'll tell you one of mine.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you, Coach Nazir, again, I'm gonna piggyback off of what he said. He was talking about how it's in the man to want it. No matter how we try to extract it, it's there. So one of the myths that we both have gotten is that, and I think subsequent wives have this too, because again, we're all wives, no matter the sequence. There must be something wrong with you for him to want more than one wife. And the men are saying, now some men have to go there and make the ultimate decision because there's so much drama in their lives and they might have to make a different decision. Meaning get another wife. So if his wife is saying, look, I married you, I don't want any kids at all. Skip that. I didn't get married for that. I didn't sign up for that. And he wants them, should he deny himself children? No, he shouldn't at all. I'll tell women this. If I was a husband, I wouldn't take polygyny off the table for myself ever as an option if I was able to do it and had the means to do it. Means doesn't mean money and, we'll think, oh, I need a car. He better have a Ferrari. He better take me here and I better have fantastic gifts and prizes. But one of the major myths is there must be something wrong with your current wife or you wouldn't need another wife. I'll tell you right now, the men have said, the husbands have stated this, that it is something that is not inside of their wives that is deficient, generally speaking. It's something that they desire to do without going, you know what, I really don't like, how you just get up in the morning and just be. I think I need another wife. I don't like how you make coffee. I'm getting another wife. They don't play around with it like that. And if they do, they need to examine that, maybe not do that. Be very serious about your desire to want more than one wife. I would tell any man, and maybe Coach Nazir can shed some light on this. I think it's a very serious discussion. I think it's a very serious desire to want more than one wife, because you have to be willing to take on the responsibilities, and those responsibilities can look different from man to man, of having more than one wife. So with the wanting more comes greater responsibilities and making a commitment to that. But that's a major myth, is that this one's broken. Let me get over here and get a brand new one and kick this one to the curb, because it's just, I don't know. I've lost interest in it. He can have whatever reason he wants to have, but he could still say, look, this is my wife. I'm happily married to this wife. I'm like another wife. You said that before. Marriage could be made so beautiful that you want more than one. You want to do it again. And I think that's very important. I'm laughing, but I'm very serious. That's important, because if we're looking at it from the outside looking in and you all say that, we need to believe you.
Now, alternatively speaking, it can absolutely be problems that you have and the things that you don't like. Again, I'm not gonna get to the desire part. The desire is already there. All right. Now, here's the thing. It's not the desire to marry multiple women. All right. Most men do not want polygyny. They're infatuated by the idea, if you will. They want to be qualified to do it. But marrying multiple women implies that there's commitment, because there's marriage. Men want multiple women, period. All right. Islam didn't bring that. All right. Multiple women had already been, polygyny had already been pretty much through all cultures. It restricted it, limited it, and put rules and regulations with it. All right. But desiring women and wanting multiple women, that's in men generally speaking. Now, to be real, not all men want multiple wives. Even men who like women don't want multiple wives. They would rather the wife, the girlfriend, to jump down, be a sugar daddy or a zaddy, have some, escorts or whatever, and not have to deal with all of the other stuff that comes along with marriage. So we absolutely recognize that. But it's a certain type of man that wants to uphold proper morals, if you will, in the family structure of the nuclear family, that wants to marry again in order to fulfill that desire. Now, here's the other part. Here's the idea. We get this word lustful desire. Lustful just simply means to strongly desire something. Nothing inherently wrong with lust. Matter of fact, that's important to have. That's important to have. See, as a man with testosterone, men do all types of things for lust, all types of things for women. They build stuff. They make things magnificent. All right. They show out. And when you look at the animal kingdom, one thing is called peacocking, really standing out. If you look at birds in particular, tend to be the male birds who have all the peacock birds that's all fancy. Those are the dudes. They get all this extra stuff to try to show out and do, and this type of thing. Not much different than when it comes to humans, when it comes to human men, whether they put an obnoxious wheel wagon, 24-inch rims on a car, having a big house to show their stuff off, and wearing big gold chains to show their resources and to show their wealth, going from one set of chains to another, in my opinion. Nevertheless, showing these things, if you will, which is what women want. Women want things. You can't just put a finger on it and say, oh, this is what women want. They want everything. Men want women. Women want everything. So men have to go ahead and do everything. Therefore, this man with a strong desire, this testosterone and everything, causes him to build more, do more, become more resourceful in order to separate himself from the mass, become more attractive, so that he can provide that security, and in exchange for that, have access to the woman sexually and continue his progeny and make sure they're his, hence loyalty. So you don't want a man, you have a man that does not have any desire, that does not have any type of lust, then you just have a lazy man. Have you ever seen any animals that have, what are they spaded and neutered? Who gets what? Neutered? The males?
You asking me?
I don't know. But when they get their nuts chopped off, let's just say that, they get their nuts chopped off, you see a dog that might have been a vicious guard dog become very tame. All right, it's not by accident. So understand this lustful desire, also called, is discussed deeply in this book called Think and Grow Rich. Perhaps you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. It was written by Napoleon Hill, early 1900s. But I think it's chapter 17. It's called Sexual Transmutation. So utilizing the same energy, but putting it towards something positive and building and growing and so on and so forth and leading really allows men to thrive on a whole nother level, whether that's expanding with conquest and so on, or building buildings and cities and families or what have you. That's in men. That's an attractive character trait in men. So you can't have two things at the same time. That is something that you desire, and that thing that you desire, you get, and you end up losing for it. This is what I mean. Let me give you an example. Women want really strong, brave men, right? Yeah, absolutely. But have you ever seen, maybe on TV, when it's time, when they're shipping off, the family's crying and like, don't go, stay with me, and all this kind of stuff and everything else, right? So she wants this person that's a defender, that's a fighter, that's strong and brave, and that's going to protect, but doesn't really want him to go fight. Wants him to stay with her. You can't have both. You can't have both. It's not going to work. Because if you get what you want, he stays with you, then you lose respect for him. Because you wanted that brave soldier that went out there, protected, fought, defended, but you got what you wanted, which is to stay with you. Now he's not doing that simple thing, and there's a loss of respect, loss of love, loss of attraction. Crazy how it works, isn't it? So having both doesn't make sense. So you want a man to provide a great life for you. This is fine. This is normal. This is secure. This is having access to resources and raising his family. Yes, no doubt, no question. But what if he's sitting up under you all day? Made all this money just sitting up under you all day, looking into your eyes, talking about love and da-da-da. What woman really wants that? Or the husband sitting up under her all day, provided all this type of stuff, and just has no life, doesn't go out, doesn't make stuff happen, has no social circle, nothing. That's not something that's attractive. So again, sometimes you lose when you get what you think you want. So as men, we have to understand we need to have a mission that we're moving forward on in a direction that's bigger than our wives and the thing that's bigger than ourselves. Because if it's not, you will be confused, running circles, trying to provide everything for somebody who doesn't know exactly what they want. And you should know that, because when it comes to try, hey, what you want to eat, baby? And you see the jokes about it, you might read some memes about it and how difficult it is for somebody to choose what they want, women. Then you know what I'm talking about when it goes into wanting and desiring everything. Anyway, that's my point on that. What y'all think? Y'all got some feedback on that? You understand what I'm saying? You don't? You disagree? Feel free, jump in
Put it
there.
in the comments. What else? Just all escaped me. Shoot.
Let me ask y'all some questions. What's the average age? People magazine comes out every year with the sexiest man alive, right? What do you think the average age is for these men? Like, I'm serious. We're going to either have you comment in discussing this, or we can wrap it up. It's all good either way. People's sexiest man alive. What do you think the average age is for the men in there that wins that category, that wins the sexiest man alive? What's the average age? What would you guess? What would you say? Post in the comments some numbers.
I know that.
And for men, well, for women, that question is for you. Sexiest man alive, what do you think the average age that People's Magazine has for the winner of Sexiest Man Alive annually? And for the men, Maxim Hot 100. So Maxim Magazine, Hot 100. What do you think the average age is for men? I see you, Justice. It's not like them out. So what do you think the average age is? All right, Justice says 40s. He was obviously responds to sexiest man alive, which is incorrect, by the way, no doubt. Sabrina says 45. Not quite. Both of those are a little too high. Little, be the key word there. What about maximum 100 though? So the hottest women, maximum 100 men. What do you think that average age is of the person who tops that list every year? I know you probably don't look at maximum and know what it is, but just take a guess. What do you think they would say the hottest women are? What age? And feel free to keep talking about, you know, the sexy man alive. Come on, give me some numbers. What do you say?
Woo.
Sexy man alive at 55? Nope.
Design.
Nope.
No.
Let me give it to you. I want the maximum 100 though. What do you think the woman's age?
For
Yes,
men.
we know you say that
Right.
for. We know the 55 is for men.
Justice said 19 for women.
Justice Bourne says 19 for women. Nope. A little older than that. Keyword, a little older than that. All right, so here are the numbers. For people sexiest man alive, the average age is 39 years old. 39 years old. The reason I laugh is because I remember all the controversy. People talking about John Legend, like, how was dude on there? It's like for real.
Oh, I
like,
don't know how he's considered sexy, but okay.
most people say it. Anyway, whatever. But the average age is 39. Sabrina says 25 for women. Almost. But for women, on the Hot 100, the average age is 24. 24. So, sexy men alive, according to people, average 39. Just look at these numbers. For women, maximum Hot 100 is 24. Now, what about Mr. Olympia? I'm gonna go a little fast. He can't be 22 to 25. I'm not asking for a range, Tessie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a range in there. Like, let me just throw this out. Yeah, it's right in the middle. It's 24. But for Mr. Olympia, this big bodybuilding contest and all this kind of stuff, men in humongous shape and all this type of stuff, right? What do you think the average age is there? And then what about Miss Universe? These are all different numbers, by the way. None of these are the same. Miss Universe. What do you say? I wish I had a Jeopardy sound or like some little sound. Mr. Olympia, let's get to it, is 33. Average age of Mr. Olympia, 33 years old. Now, what about Miss Universe? Miss Universe is younger than the maximum Hot 100 lady. Miss Universe average winner is 21 years old. 21. Now, these are gaps. Pretty easy to see. Now, here's the other part, though. Of men, like when are men considered their most attractive? Women were asked this question. What age do you think they said? What age? I'll give you a hint. It's older than Justice Bourne. He ain't tell you. You still got some time to go. So what do you think they say the average age is for men when they are considered their sexiest? And likewise for women. What do you think men say is women's sexiest age?
Put in the comments, y'all. Let's see what you
Yeah, we waiting for real.
We know what it is. We'll be brave enough to post it down there in the comments. Most attractive
Good
age
question.
for men.
Men are seen to be the most attractive to women at what age? And women tend to be the most attractive to men at what age? Sabrina says 40. Aisha says men 40, women 35.
Nice.
No. For men, it's up in number. So it's older than 40. And for women, lower than 35. All right, Justice Bourne. See, you would have to quote and get it right. My man, of course, yeah. Women say 50 years old. 50 years old, which is really interesting. But when you look at them being established, when you're looking at wealth, position in society, lifestyle, different resources, the ability to already have things going, whether that's family and otherwise, and not being just scatterbrained, if you will, or scatter living, 50. I got some time to go before that. You know what I'm saying?
Problem still.
But 50. All right. Now, what about women? So it's clear, 50.
Yeah.
Now, you may not agree personally with your own personal preferences. The vast majority of women see men at the most attractive at 50. Hence, now you can see. I remember when I don't remember the year or even how old he was, but I remember Idris Elba was on there with his gray hairs as Sexiest Man Alive on People magazine.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Of course.
I was like, why is this old dude on there? Well, apparently I wasn't part of the voting pool. You know what I'm saying? Nor do it matter either way. But older dude was like, yo, here's what it is. So, but women though, what's the number for women? It's not 35. Give me a number, not a range. She just want to get all the way around. 22 to 22, 23, 24. I'm saying 4 years is when they the most sexiest.
Within the span of,
You know what I'm saying?
26.
Nope, it's not.
Women, no.
26, not quite. It's 3 years earlier than that. So 23 years old. 23 years old. Is anybody surprised? Like, is anybody really surprised? I mean, when it comes to the women in particular, I mean, as a man, I'm thinking about the women. The women, I don't know what they when they see, you know what I'm saying? Men necessarily there. But the thing is that our roles absolutely align with our reproductive capabilities. So when I say that we produce billions of sperm cells a day, and women release 1 egg per month, but men for some reason tend to be all their problems. All their problems. All their hormonal problems is men. Know that?
Oh yeah.
Menstrual cycle. Look at that, men. They put menstrual cycle. Past the menstrual cycle, menopause. Men tend to be major problems going on for whatever reasons in the world. Hey, I ain't come up with the names, but men tend to be the issues or the challenges. So now here's the other part. We have to be able to have emotional resilience. This is what I mean. Men and women, especially men, we don't traditionally play a lot of emotional games. Though men can play emotional games. If you raise sons, you know they're extremely emotional. But when it comes to things, we're raised and taught to protect, to provide, to be chivalrous, you know, to open the door, to carry things, all this type of stuff, to treat women with, you know, respect and so on and so forth, right? Including things like, you know what, never hit a woman. Now you're like, what you say, Coach? That says you can never in self-defense. No, you have to find some other way, run away faster, something. Hence, you know, male victims of domestic violence are kind of shunned and looked at in a certain way, and that's like the thing. But you can see these blue-faced chicks, whatever her name is, all this kind of crazy stuff. Blueface.
Oh,
Krishan, whatever, right? So you see these type of violent interactions between these type of people, and so don't do this, which kind of emboldens or empowers them. And then we're also taught stuff like, you know, girls are created from what, sugar and spice and everything nice and all this type of stuff, right? So they get emboldened and empowered and start to think that they're above and they're put on this pedestal. And the man, hence you had a motto or mantra that years ago when it was the Me Too movement talking about believe all women. Now, being a black man in America, we absolutely can't do that. You know, must we bring up the whole Emmett Till situation, where it wasn't the look or the wink or the whistle because that didn't even exist. But believe all women, we know what it is. We got examples, whether that be Kobe, whether that be Tyson, whatever. It is what it is. We weren't there, but we know how that works when it comes to white tears in particular. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that when it comes to men and women, our roles are aligned directly to our reproductive status. That men can be seen as more attractive at 50, at a much older age, still with reproductive capabilities, just being fertile, be able to raise a number of different children. You know what I'm saying? If that's what the man desires. So it makes absolute sense. Now, if people look at it crazy in society, you see a 50-year-old man with a 20-year-old woman or something like that. People are like, oh my God. Like, really? For real? Come on. You can't be delusional. It don't make any sense.
My grandpa was 50 and his second wife was 18.
Yeah.
Well,
second wife. Well, first of all, second wife means he got divorced and married again. Doesn't mean he's practiced polygyny. No, and that was one of many women. That was many.
18.
He was only 50?
She was only 18.
No, I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
50.
yeah. So yeah, she was young.
I met the FI. Ow.
So,
Sure.
anyway, yeah. So let's go into
that was all the way you got all in the depths of it.
All right. Sabrina says she's not surprised. She's gonna say 50 for her, but thought it might be a personal preference. No, Sabrina, you in with the masses. That's what they say, 50.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know pogonophiles existed. And then there's a specific type of pogonophile. Y'all know what that is, right? No. Is there any book on what you mean? Is there any book, bro? A little bit more specific that will help. It's out the way, hit the wrong thing. All right. So 25, 27. These comments coming in late. Just getting it late. You know what? There is a delay. There's a little delay on YouTube. It's about 15 seconds or something. All right. So when it comes to polygyny, when I'm talking about men have to have emotional resilience, that means you have to be able to be uncomfortable. Since we're raised in a certain fashion, we want to provide our wives with comfort. We want stuff to be smooth. We don't like crying. We don't like emotional uncertainty and stuff like that. So then we feel like we're doing something wrong, or we're cracking inside and we want to fix it, or we kind of back off because we don't want that. And guess what? They know that too. So that becomes the challenge. That becomes a tightrope thing where we have the skill to be able to discern when somebody is trying to play us using emotional manipulation techniques, or you just need to just take some time and reassure and move forward when it comes to polygyny. All right, because you get the immediate things of, oh, I'm going to take the kids and leave. What is that? What's behind that? Or you get the thing that, yeah, I want to talk about polygyny with you, baby. No, that's oppressive. I can't talk about that. How dare you? I'm not enough either. I'm a man. I already know I'm not enough. One is enough is Allah Ta'ala. That's it. I know you taught you everything, accept you as you are. You can be big as Lizzo, and that's still supposed to be sexy and all that kind of junk. And that's supposed to be all good. And, oh, you body shaming and all this kind of stuff. Come on, move. Look, we old enough, or should be, to get away from the bovine excrement. Leave that over there. We're dealing in reality. And reality says that's option to do so. So therefore, that means what age is geriatric pregnancy? Like 35, 36? Like 35, 36 is geriatric pregnancy. Do you know why? Because you middle-aged at that point. That doesn't mean it's garbage, trash, and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't mean you can't have a child. It just means it's more challenging to have children, and it's considered high risk from the jump. Like, you don't need to they don't wait for like ultrasounds and all that kind of stuff to determine the sex of the baby and all that kind of stuff. I didn't know until it was geriatric pregnancy. They just do like, why you do all the extra ultrasound and all that kind of stuff? Because they're not high risk when you're younger. So looking at it, again, just as a species, as regular humans, that's where we are. So there's no need to explain the desire. Desires are already there. The desires are what allows you as a man to do more, to have the motivation to be more and to grow and all this type of stuff as a man. Men can become very crafty. They become masters of words. Hence, seduce women by what they say. Tell them there's a whole artistry called pick. They not be attractive. Usually they aren't when they take advantage of different techniques. And they use them and they work. So displaying or feigning this confidence or peacocking, that's actually a thing. And utilizing their words to seduce women. That's a thing. However, the same facts still exist. We're different as men and women. But for those who want to practice polygyny, doing it in a moral fashion, we have to be able to sit in our discomfort, if you will. Being able to abide in it as men, we can take it more and be better as stoic as we can be, versus being highly emotional or allowing somebody else to move us like a minstrel show. You just a puppet. I do tears, he's gonna do this. I cry over here, they do this. We watched this thing last night. What was that? The boy didn't want to go with his mother or something like 11 years ago. The father didn't. She was just, oh, and he doesn't, and he's hurting me. And when they talk like this and there's no tears, and they do that because that's an emotional manipulation technique. You know, ridiculousness happens all the time. So as a man, I'm gonna let you, you know, you can be able to stand in discomfort. Because here's the one thing that they'll try to use on you. Your first wife, you know, I get what they're trying to say, but how dare you hurt her and you go and marry somebody else and the person done all this and you hurt her. That's what they're saying. So put this hurt, put all that above building another family, doing something that's better and bigger for society, that's bigger than you. Because I tend to ask women, I'm like, okay, how important, excuse me, how important is marriage? Scale of 1 to 10. I opened up with that last week during our discussion. Many people say it's a 10 or at least an 8. If that's the case, if marriage is like that, and we see what it does to society when there's children, when they're single mother-led homes, for example, versus 2-parent homes, or even single father homes. If it's that important, then the other question is, how important is the hurt of one individual who is against her husband establishing that exact thing that's very important? Which one carries more weight? Which one is more beneficial to? I think we know the answer if we read objective, but if not, it's what it is. So talk to the ladies about some emotional resilience. You have some questions on that? Because if I'm not clear or you disagree, let's have some comments, some dialogue, some debate, if you will. Let's go.
I think one of the things about, I don't know how much more I can say. Coach Nazir said it all pretty much.
I'll talk to the men though. So.
Like,
I'll talk to women a little bit though too.
Yes, you did. Oh no, go ahead now, bro. No, yeah, he did it because it's difficult to address emotional resilience that I think women miss the mark on is that we need it. You gotta have it. You try to avoid it. Trying to avoid it doesn't erase the fact that you need it. Okay. And your emotional, we look at emotional resilience as a weakness. I got to be emotionally resilient. Oh, yes. Not this again. I found personally, and especially with my coaching, I spoke to women about this and train them on this specifically, is that identify. You spoke about men being human beings and women being human beings. That means we're not perfect. You want perfection in polygyny, and you're not going to get it. You didn't have it before that. You're not going to have it now. But everything must be perfect now because there's somebody else in the picture. See, one thing that we like to do as women that will cause us injury, specifically to our emotions, is when we're not looking at the man before us, but we're thinking about the one we dreamt of. Instead of going, okay, this is who I'm dealing with, not this. And I wasn't dating, looking at a boy, married to nobody. I was watching the TV. Man I married is not perfect, and he's not the person I want him to be. And he ain't good enough. He's not good enough. Because we're not looking at who's in front of us. So the man in front of us is saying, I want to have another wife. We're going, no, you do. Because that's denial. Our denial is coming to the forefront, but the man is saying, yes, I do. You're going, no, you can't. Because there's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfect. I'm not going to say that to you because that would be rude. And then you might think I'm off, but that's a desire. Because now we get to the point we're cherry picking every little thing. And who was that comedian? I think it was Ricky. What is his name? He's from the UK. Ricky Gap, whatever. He's an insult comic. He's the one that gathered up all those celebrities at the Oscars. He said, yes, he said, who do you? What kind of arrogance do you have to have? Now, I don't know how he lives his life, but that's the realest thing I ever heard when he said, who do you think you are that that everybody must agree with you? Guess what? Our husbands are going to disagree with us, and it might be surrounding our emotions around polygyny. So we say, well, you know what? You can't love me if you love the person. And our husband say, it don't matter to me if that's what you feel, because to them, they're going, that's not a fact. That's just how you feel. But I've never said that. I had a client tell me that once. She was like, well, he doesn't this, that, and the other. And I said, I got one question for you. Did he tell you that? She was like, no. Why do you think that then? Well, if he wouldn't have gotten another wife, then I wouldn't think that. No. See, the thing is, we give the word polygyny so much power, and then we create this monster practicing it the right way or the wrong. We go, no, it's polygyny. I'm telling you, it's that word. Oh, it makes me so mad. No, it's not the word polygyny at all. It's the people that are involved in it. But we can make our house heaven or we can make it hell. But having emotional resilience is understanding that you're going to need it, and it's okay to be emotionally resilient, because we all want the reward, but we don't want the work. Everybody says, you know, I want the 2 wives, I want the 3 and the 4 wives, but damn the work. I just want to be able to say I got that. No, because anything worth having does take work. So you're going to need emotional resilience, and that's okay.
All right, look, been here almost an hour. Got some questions, comments, concerns. I'm not going to jump into the discussion because we kind of hit it from this person, but probably going to make some videos in relation to it because it allows for it's good content and discussion. So any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, ideas that you have about today's short live? Matter of fact, anyway, if you're not on our email list, you definitely want to get on that on outstandingpersonalrelationships.com or join our private polygyny community where we dive deeper with our members, where we're going to be spending a lot more time versus here on the weekend. So let's see what Shameen is talking about. She says, I don't think women don't have many opportunities to build emotional resilience. Or I think women don't have many opportunities to build emotional resilience. So polygyny, it challenges us in a way that is foreign and requires us to be more, to think more, and to consider more. Absolutely.
Well, just because, and I'm just saying this because I had to do it, just because it's foreign to us, we need to get familiar. Because what happens is there's fear of loss attached to polygyny in our mind. So there's no way to confront it or deal with it or win in it if we're not willing to familiarize ourselves with polygyny. That's a disservice that I did to myself personally. I was like, I ain't reading no books right now. I know he can do it, but ignorance, I love that Jim Rohn said that ignorance is not bliss, it's tragedy. And for me, it was tragic because I'm like, I know what I need to know Islamically about it, but I didn't know anything about the inner workings of it because there was nothing there. There was no PR. There was nobody talking about it. Everyone was running from it. So I said, okay, well then I'll run. Nobody wants to talk about it. Cool. Let's not talk about it. Now here we are on YouTube and on Facebook and having a book, outstandingpersonalrelationships.com. And then we have our Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored book that the 3 of us co-authored.
Don't look at the camera because it's not going.
Okay. Let's go off first.
That's the book, y'all.
That's the book, y'all. And
320 some pages.
3 different perspectives that are powerful. So if we're not familiar with it, let's get familiar with it. Okay? Give yourself permission because you don't have to wait on anybody else to give you permission to get familiar with polygyny.
Natanya says, if I'm pronouncing it, Natanya says, I'm here to learn. I'm not afraid of educating myself. I just find it interesting that people can talk about any and everything except polygyny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt.
All day.
We find it very strange, too. We find it strange that they're out there with the Rainbow Coalition, the alphabet soup people and all that. love is love until there's polygyny and it's done in a natural way when it comes to being able to reproduce properly and have a nuclear family. Then it becomes a problem.
Well, the agenda is to destroy the meaning and the power behind marriage.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah. So he got the elemental P people Olympics with the children watching this and then say, well, it's art.
Coming after your kids.
It's art. With a man that's 300 some pounds in a thong looking like a Smurf. He was blue from head to toe. That's art though.
Yeah.
And then when we all get upset and all the Christians in the country came together and prayed because that was on their TV in their country, oh yeah, they was upset. Why? Because you're trying to stuff something down our throats, and then they come over to here to polygyny and make that look so alien and so evil, but you got men having a drag show on national television worldwide. But that's all right because it's art.
Don't misgender them.
Don't misgender them because and then they have then they're buying up all our pads, so they don't want to talk about that though. And we're not even going to talk about the black nuclear family and how that's been eviscerated in the West to the point of now the black women, I'm a black woman, are arguing about, well, you can't, you tell that to Malcolm X, to men like me. So see, they got us so distracted, we don't see the destruction. These are the colonizers, so then we're going to believe their agenda over what we came from. We both did our DNA ancestry. And found that on right now, okay, they were polygynous, y'all. A lot of Native American natives, they like to be called polygynous tribes. Until white folks said, no, we're not doing that anymore. Y'all do this. And then everybody go, okay, we'll do that. And don't nobody talk against it. These are the people that had you chained up. Remember that.
It ain't what anyway, so it doesn't even matter. I mean, like they don't have a bunch of read from Jesse Jackson with your jump downs and your babies and all this stuff. I wear a lot. We know it's a front. It is what it is. So let me just share one other thing with you though. I'm going to read this comment, a couple comments very quickly because it's important to address them. So let's get to it. On this video that we have, say it again. The polygyny Coach Fatimah did, right? So there are a number of different reactions and stuff that will happen. So there's one sister, what does that say? Michelle Tathaz 659 says, you know what? I'm Muslim, would never accept polygamy. The moment he brings another woman will be the moment I go for divorce. And he would never touch me again. We are not in the Middle Ages anymore. And for all the sisters, your husband is only for you and nobody else. We just let them know, may Allah grant your current husband a wife who respects her deen, is not rebellious, is obedient to her husband, who works to get Jannah tirelessly. I mean, all right, because I could imagine being in such a relationship. Here's this other part. Here's the response. I respect my deen, and I'm not rebellious, but I do not obey, as I am not a child. We are equal partners, as in I am the one who provides for the family and pays the mortgage and the house and all the bills. And I would never accept another wife coming in. Never. That would be instant divorce. I respect myself. Sound a little feminazis, doesn't it? Like, interesting. So, simple, basic response. Additional. He's a shepherd of his family. He's an imam. It's like any organization, family or otherwise, without a leader, loses. Period. You can't win. Yep. And sad, you sound like a modern woman who thinks money has granted you something different, like feminists think. Assaulted Islam with your Middle Ages comment, which also assaults the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the type of thinking that gets put out there and is celebrated or liked or gets pushed all the time. Well, if this happens, it's divorce. It doesn't just for you and blah, blah, blah. Perhaps you didn't know this, especially if you're a Muslim. that Allah Ta'ala does not address the women whatsoever when it comes to polygyny. He didn't say, go ahead and do this and talk to that. He talked directly to the man, marry 2 or 3 or 4. Or if you feel you cannot do justice, then only 1. Or, which concubines and so on and so forth, continues the ayat. But think about that type of thinking, that type of up and down, that type of superiority complex, because when it comes to it, when you say that I pay all the bills and I do all this and that, and first you don't obey, then you think you're an equal partner. That's not. I mean, my wives are my wives. Okay? But just like in a company structure, there's a CEO, there's a CFO, there's a board. I'll consult with them on certain things, but the ultimate decision has to rest with me. I have the vision for the family. That's my responsibility. They're supportive and they help. You know what I'm saying? They provide wise counsel. If I'm not doing something correctly, they have some better way to get some things accomplished. It's my responsibility. I talk with them. But I have to make that decision. But she said, no, she don't obey. It's what it is. And so when it's called out, when it's addressed, and it's like, yo, and I call the money part out, then it's you living in the Middle Ages. What does money have to do with this? I didn't say anything about money, but y'all just heard to read the comment. It's this type of modern day thinking. And sadly, she's providing all this type of stuff, like paying mortgage, providing all this kind of stuff. She has this type of thinking. Dude, I don't know what happened to your boss. Hence, why I encourage men to build yourself, get your shift together, and navigate your ship. Because you have others out there that think like this and that claim to be Muslim, don't even not without recognizing a statement that you made is a statement of kufr that will take you out of this deen with what you said about polygyny, what you said about is only for you and so on and so forth, as though Al-Hakim, Allah Ta'ala, did not already grant that man permission to do such. I'm just saying, we end up worshiping ourselves. And I need to remind Muslims that monogamy is not a Jinnah marriage.
The gag is.
It's not. That's only here on this earth. Go ahead.
The gag is the man probably don't even know she made the comment. That's the funny part.
Of course he didn't hear.
So I want and then see if he goes, oh really? Because then he might have to make a decision to get rid of her.
Well, the person eventually was saying, I've been with 37 years and yada, yada, yada. So for example, you are so misguided, talking about us. I'm a better Muslim than what you may think you are. You're still living in the Middle Ages when women have absolutely no rights, which is ridiculous because Islam is actually doing it. Anyway, let me finish this. Money has absolutely nothing to do here. You need to evolve with the time. You don't need to argue with someone who doesn't have the capacity to understand. You need to have some respect for yourself. You're not a child anymore. So do not reply, I will not read or answer it. May Allah show you the light. Money has nothing to do here. Who's the person that's talking about I pay and provide and pay the mortgage and all that kind of stuff? Damn sure wasn't me. Wasn't us. It's this type of delusional thinking that goes back and you can't remember what you just got done saying while you're allowing your tongue to lead you to Jahannam. So anyway, that's that part. Any questions, comments, concerns to discuss before we wrap it up because it's that time. All right, if you don't have anything, we appreciate y'all being here, showing up, showing out. Make sure if you are not already subscribed to our email list, you on the email list because we share information there that you're not going to get here, especially outside of our polygamy community. With that, appreciate y'all being here. We out. We're going to end, I guess, with some GLC.
Make sure you're growing intentionally, loving fearlessly,
and connecting on a higher level every
single day.
I'm Coach Nazir.
Put this on for you.
And I'm Coach Fatimah, his wife.
And I am Coach Nyla. I am also his wife.
We are the authors of the book,
Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored.
And I want to let you know, polygamy can be a fulfilling journey, but having a right support system in place makes all the difference. That's why we created the polygamy community, a space where you can be educated, equipped, and empowered with the guidance of mentors and coaches and a supportive community.
Our community offers you more than just education. It's an opportunity to connect deeply with others that are on the same path. You'll have access to programs and classes that will unlock as you engage, providing you with tools so that you can build stronger and harmonious families. Plus, our meet and greets are an opportunity for you to connect with potential spouses in a respectful environment.
Ladies, we know that embracing your femininity as well as strengthening your marriage is key when it comes to having a fulfilling relationship. So this is where our community is here to support you every step of the way. We have engaging communications, programs, as well as private events. And you can even inbox us directly as your coaches. So we are here for you. We are here to help you deepen your connection, enhance your communication, and become that incredible wife that you aspire to be, especially in polygyny.
Whether you're just beginning or looking to refine your polygynous journey, the polygamy community offers education, support, and opportunities that you will absolutely need to succeed. So join us, unlock exclusive programs, and take the next step to building your fulfilling polygynous union. I am Coach Nazir.
And I'm Coach Fatimah, his wife.
And I am Coach Nyla. I am also his wife.
We are the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as the authors of the book, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. And I'm sure you're asking yourself, how can you get your hands on a copy of it right now? The great part is, we're about to share that with you, but first, let me tell you about why you need to at least get your hands on one or maybe more copies, depending on where you are in your polygynous journey.
Some of the things that we discuss in our book are issues about trust, insecurities, jealousy among wives, and maybe even, possibly even, creating lasting friendships.
Especially friendships amongst co-wives. And we share in this book how you can understand that it takes a village, that polygyny is not some taboo topic or something that's going to leave women stranded alone and kids not loving each other or feel like they're left alone by their fathers or from their fathers or whatever the case may be. You will learn so much in this book. Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored.
Indeed, we lay down the practical steps that we wish we would have had when we started our polygynous journey over 13 years ago. Well, the time is here, and all you have to do, go to letstalkpolygamy.com. Order a copy, order the bundle, do whatever it is you need to do so there's no more excuses, and we make it marriage great again by reminding people of polygamy, which is an ancient solution to a modern day problem. Letstalkpolygamy.com. Get your pre-sale order on. With that being said,
make sure you are growing intentionally,
Loving fearlessly,
and connecting on a higher level
every single day.
Polygamy wide.
Reporting for duty, husband, sir.
Formation. I am Coach Nazir.
I am Coach Fatimah, his wife.
And I am Coach Nyla. I am also his wife.
We are the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships and Polygamy Bootcamp. And if you think that's how polygamy actually works,
You are sadly mistaken.
but you were laughing, right? I know you're laughing. That's funny. Anyway, we're also the authors of Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. And we want to let you know something, because when it comes to practicing polygamy, there's this whole fantasy on how that is, at least on the men's side. Like, I'll do this, you're going to be step, lock, and step. Not at all. Not at all. The challenge is, when we embarked on our polygynous journey, before us raising, 12 children and traveling the world and everything else, it looked a whole lot messier and it was a whole lot more challenging. All right. So what we've done is we put a special gift together for you at polygamybootcamp.com to kind of let you know what the pillars are to really practicing it at a high level, especially if you're new, or if you just have the idea, or maybe you want to just kind of figure a few things out.
Right.
Yeah. Many initial wives believe that they're being replaced, or that their husband doesn't love them anymore, and they don't really know how to deal with that or their emotions.
And many subsequent wives, incoming wives, if you will, or second wives, have the feeling of where do they belong, or that they are not good enough and they have to do extra in order to get the acceptance and the attention and the affection of their husband. And we dispel all of that. Polygamybootcamp.com.
Go there, get your free gift. You will thank us later, especially if you're looking at practicing polygyny in a healthy fashion. Make sure you click the link below. Go ahead and get your free gift, and we look forward to sharing more fun stuff with you. So shape up
Or ship out.
click the button below. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.
I am Coach Nazir.
And I'm Coach Fatimah, his wife.
And I am Coach Nyla. I am also his wife.
We are the founders of Outstanding.
Oh, what am I reading? I'm reading the new book, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. This book is packed full of information, mythbusters on polygamy, what polygamy really means. And if you guys don't know, let me give you a little secret. It means one man married to multiple women. But it talks about family dynamics, how to get along with your co-wife, and what that may look like even if you had trouble before. Get your copy, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored, today at letstalkpolygamy.com.
Polygamy. Polygamy what?
Ready for duty, husband, sir.
Formation. I am Coach Nazir.
I'm his wife, Coach.
I am Coach Nazir.
And I'm Coach Fatimah, his wife.
And I am Coach Nyla. I am also his wife.
We are the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships.
Girl, what's wrong with you?
Girl, polygamy. Polygamy. I'm hearing it everywhere. Polygamy this, polygamy that. Men want to be married to more than one wife. I'm sick of hearing it. Who want to be dealing with something like that anyway?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
What?
Well, I mean, if it's done right.
Who's doing polygamy right? Where can you even find how to do polygamy right anyway? What was that?
I heard that too.
What is this?
Wait a minute.
Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored?
The practical no-nonsense guide to practicing polygamy right?
You heard that right. And if you want to get your copy shipped to your door, make sure you go to letstalkpolygamy.com so you can learn how to practice polygyny properly.